We're still a solid month and some weeks away from the launch of the Xbox Series X and S and the PlayStation 5, but there are plenty of big-name current-gen releases to look forward to in October. Horror games, role-playing games, sports titles, and at least one big open-world game are coming up, so let's take a look at this month's 15 biggest releases. Super Mario Bros. 35. This isn't Super Mario Battle Royale or Nintendo's answer to Fall Guys, but it might just be the closest thing to competitive free-for-all Mario. For Nintendo Switch Online subscribers, that is. Super Mario Bros. 35 sees players platforming through your typical Super Mario Bros. Stage, defeating enemies, gathering coins, and whatnot. The twist is that there are 34 other players, visible on screen, that are competing against you. Players can send obstacles into others' games, specifically targeting those with the most coins, the least time, or completely at random. Coins can be used to purchase items and increase one's survival rate. The last player standing is the winner. It's out on October 1st, 2020 for Switch, and looks cool. However, Super Mario Bros. 35 is only available to play until March 31st, 2021, so if it ends up being amazing, savor each and every moment until it's inevitably gone. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. We're finally at the stage where Googling Crash Bandicoot 4 doesn't automatically bring up Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex. If that's not progress, we don't know what is. As a direct sequel to the original trilogy, Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time is developed by Toys for Bob, the same team behind the excellent Spyro Reignited trilogy. Essentially, the space-time fabric has been torn asunder, and it's up to Crash and Coco to find the quantum masks to set everything right. Along with playing through each level as either Bandicoot in the main story, players can also experience alternate timeline versions. These have Dr. Neo Cortex, Dingodile, and an alternate version of Tana being playable along with their own unique enemy placements and traps in levels. On top of this, there are flashback levels that provide tougher challenges, inverted versions of the same with varying conditions, local competitive and co-op modes, and the option to play in retro or modern mode, the latter providing infinite lives. Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time is out on October 2nd for PS4 and Xbox One. Star Wars Squadrons. Ever since the days of Star Wars X-Wing and TIE Fighter, we've yet to really see a space combat game capture that magic, at least in the same setting. With how well received Starfighter Assault was in Star Wars Battlefront 2, a standalone title like Star Wars Squadrons makes sense. Still, for $40, it's surprising to see a proper campaign, which takes place after Return of the Jedi and alternates between pilots in the New Republic and Empire, and no microtransactions. Each side has 4 ship types to choose from, with different components and weapons to customize. Multiplayer consists of 5v5 dogfights and fleet battles to eliminate the opposing flagship. Operations, daily challenges, and more will keep things fresh post-launch. Last year, EA somewhat redeemed its shoddy handling of the license with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. We'll see if that can continue with Star Wars Squadrons out on October 2nd for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Ride 4. Though it doesn't have the biggest budget of most racing sim franchises, the Ride series is one of the few that's focused primarily on bikes. Ride 4 aims to go even further, with hundreds of different bikes to choose from, dozens of tracks, dynamic weather, and full day and night cycles, and even a neural AI system that offers more realistic competition, at least in theory. The single-player experience offers a number of events to participate in, and there's a new endurance mode to truly test one's mettle for longer races. Ride 4 is out on October 8th for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. FIFA 21. A new FIFA game is coming up. Please be excited. For a yearly sports franchise that too one notorious for its RNG card packs, EA is going out of its way to implement long-requested features. Match simulation in career mode will allow for jumping in and out of matches more intuitively. Loan-to-buy deals are now possible when making transfers. Players can now be trained for other positions. And annoying FUT items like fitness and training consumables are gone. Ultimate Team also supports co-op now, which carries its own modes and rewards. FUT stadiums have way more customization, and there are also FUT events for players to compete and collaborate in together. Even if the overall gameplay changes end up falling short, at least the major changes sound worthwhile. FIFA 21 releases on October 9th for PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. NHL 21. EA Sports has another title out in October with NHL 21. However, it seems to offer a lot of what fans expect. From Hockey Ultimate Team mode to familiar multiplayer modes like Threes Eliminator, Clubs, and so on. World of Chell offers the ability to progress through seasonal ranks with each mode, with Club Finals championships available near the end. There's also Be a Pro, a more cinematic take on career mode, where your custom-created player competes professionally en route to the NHL. Dialogue options abound, though given how the storytelling has been in recent EA Sports titles like Madden NFL 21, it's best to be skeptical. NHL 21 is out on October 16th, and unlike its contemporaries, it's only planned for Xbox One and PS4. Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Continuing the trend of bringing every major Wii U title over to the Switch, Nintendo is releasing Pikmin 3 Deluxe for the console on October 30th with improved visuals and new content. The original is a real-time strategy title with 3 new captains to control and up to 100 Pikmin to command, offering co-op and competitive multiplayer modes in addition to the story. Pikmin 3 Deluxe features all of that, along with options for lock-on targeting and hints, and increasing the difficulty for some added challenge. All of the DLC stages from the original are here, while new side story missions focused on Olimar and Louis have been added. Pikmin 3 was pretty well regarded back in the day, so whether you're a new or experienced player, the deluxe version might make it worth hopping back into. Amnesia Rebirth. Frictional's critically acclaimed psychological horror series finally returns with Amnesia Rebirth. Touted as a brand new game, it focuses on Tassie Trianon, who's trapped in the desert with a horrifying creature or two stalking her. There's a fair bit of exploration and puzzle solving along with managing one's physical and mental well-being, but Tassie will also have to contend with her own hopes, fears, and bitter regrets in order to survive. If previous games were any indication, then Amnesia Rebirth should offer another terrifyingly compelling journey. It's out on October 20th for PS4 and PC. Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. Fresh off its stellar run with Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, Tantalus Media and Forgotten Empires have turned their attention to remastering and enhancing Age of Empires 3. Along with a remastered soundtrack, the visuals have been upgraded to 4K Ultra HD. Judging by the previous game, you can also expect lots of nuanced improvements in terms of character models, textures, animations, and environments, while still maintaining the overall look and feel of the original. Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition will also feature all of the previously released expansions, 2 new modes with historical battles and the Art of War challenge missions, and the Swedes and Inca as a new civilization. This is in addition to the improved online multiplayer and mod support. It releases on October 15th for PC. Ghostrunner. Combining first-person platforming with combat and a one-hit mechanic that applies to both enemies and the player, Ghostrunner is a sleek-looking title with some unique hooks. Set in the future, your goal is to reach the top of a tower and defeat the Keymaster. A variety of foes will attempt to stop you, but there are also plenty of environmental hurdles to overcome. To that end, players will run, jump, grapple, wall run, dash, and slash through foes to progress and perhaps replay levels for better times. Ghostrunner arrives on October 27th for Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. World of Warcraft Shadowlands. The Covenant system and Blizzard's unwillingness to change it based on alpha feedback is concerning, but Shadowlands is still a big deal for many WoW players. It's the first time they'll be heading to Azeroth's Realm of the Dead, introduces the game's first level squish, making 60 the default level cap, and provides new ways to customize the core races. One can also look forward to exploring 5 huge zones, 8 new dungeons, a new raid, and Torghast, the Tower of the Damned, which provides a roguelike dungeon crawling experience. And of course, there are 4 Covenants to join, each with its own campaign, gear, and abilities that will add more depth to one's character. Again, it's all very interesting, but it remains to be seen if the system provides meaningful choices or hamstrings players who choose the wrong Covenant. WoW Shadowlands is out on October 27th for PC, so we'll find out soon enough. Watch Dogs Legion. A mysterious group called Zero Day has framed hacker collective DedSec for some bombings. As a result, the PMC Albion takes control of London and uses CTOS to trample on human rights. It's up to the player to recruit new operatives from the populace and effectively liberate the city. From a gameplay perspective, pretty much any NPC is fair game for recruitment. Complete their respective missions, and you can utilize their skills, whether it's a getaway driver with a unique vehicle, a hacker who's skilled in drones, or a professional assassin. Throw in some co-op support, permadeath for characters if you refuse to surrender, that is, and multiple approaches to missions, and you have quite the replay value. Watch Dogs Legion is out first for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Google Stadia on October 29th. Those on console and keen on features like ray tracing may want to hold off for next-gen versions, which release on November 10th for Xbox Series X and S and November 12th for PS5. The Dark Pictures Anthology, Little Hope. The curator's presentation of unfinished horror stories continues with the Dark Pictures Anthology, Little Hope. The story sees a group of college students, along with their professor, trapped in Little Hope. Witch hunting was quite popular back in the late 1600s, and it seems the group has some connection to the town. Much like Man of Medan, different dialogue options can influence the fate of the cast, leading to multiple endings. One can also expect the return of co-op online play and movie night mode, which sees up to 5 players making story decisions. Despite numerous delays, the Dark Pictures Anthology, Little Hope, will finally release on October 30th for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4. It's taken a while for the English localization, but Falcom's thunderous conclusion to the Irbonia arc is nearly here. Following the previous game's conclusion, The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4 sees the new Class 7 continuing forth and rallying support to save the world. Heroes from other arcs like Trails in the Sky and Trails of Zero/Azure will also be appearing to lend a hand, which makes for a fairly sizable roster, and there will likely be even more epic battles with Panzer Soldats and Knights than before. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4 is out on October 27th for PS4. Second Extinction. It's no Dino Crisis, but Second Extinction should provide some fast-paced shooting action as players either fight solo or with up to 2 others against hordes of mutant dinosaurs. Launching in early access with 4 heroes, 10 weapons with upgrades, 6 missions, and several regions, Second Extinction also has a mechanic called the War Effort. This sees the threat level of different regions lowering if players successfully complete missions in them. However, other regions will see their threat levels rise, and this could result in an emergence event, which is much tougher than usual missions. Second Extinction will arrive on PC first, with Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S versions expected later this year. And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.